Yo guys, what's up? It's Nathan from Winner's Edge Trading doing the daily analysis on Friday, the 10th of August. Some interesting going off to close the weekend. The chart I have up right now shows a hard fake out on the USD CAD to the bullish side, which you can see turned out to be quite a long tail heading back in the downward direction. Actually, a good short signal ended up coming out of that, even though it looked like it was going to be a long break back into that channel. So an interesting signal there. Hopefully, I know that a lot of you who watch this analysis are some of the people who got involved with the Catapult Pro yesterday before we raised the price on it. So we're really pumped about getting all you guys on board. Hopefully, you already have your accounts up and you're getting ready to get some of these trades. Casey took a pound Swiss trade and a New Zealand dollar trade that are both up pretty nicely already, even though we just entered them today. So if you already have an account up, you might have got those, which is pretty sweet. But the market is, kind of reverting back into, the trend, the previous trend directions, like it is here, and then also on the pound Swiss, which I'll show you later. And we're hoping that over the weekend that momentum actually increases because a lot of times, during the weekend there's lack of trading, of course, so there's kind of tension built up, and it all comes through when the market open and actually propels price a lot further in the direction that it might have already been heading with that momentum. So that's kind of what we're hoping for on both that pound Swiss and New Zealand USD trade, and we're looking forward to those following through nicely and making a nice percentage gain with those two trades combined. Okay, let me pull up our terms of service so we can go over those quickly. Here is the terms of service, and this is important because we need you guys to understand basically what we can and cannot do. And the main thing is just that we're not regulated or, we don't have a license to provide you with investment advice. We're just a website who's designed to give helpful information, and so we need to be clear about that. All right, let's move on to our analysis. Just throw this out of the way here. All right, so again, I have the USD CAD up here first, which I mentioned turned out to be a pretty nice short signal. I just jumped on short recently, and it's just starting to move in that direction a little bit. I'm only up like 3 pips or so. I will keep you updated on this trade and whether it continues to follow through. Another pair to look at is the euro pound, and let me pull that up here. And the euro pound is obviously this large downtrend that we talked about. And I remember I told you guys about this bounce off this trend line that I took short about 4 or 5 days ago when I entered that. And that is followed through pretty consistently to the downside for me so far. I'm up about 93 pips. Obviously, my stop is checked into break even, and I'm not risking anything else on the trade. Just looking to see how much profit potential I can get. I don't know if you can see my target. My target's down here, but if I can hit that target, it's actually going to be about a 20% of my account trade, with only risking 2%. So it'll be a 10-to-1 if I can hit that trade, which would be really great. So I'm really hoping that it does continue to actually fall through all the way down to that previous low. That'd be a great gain of my account on a single trade. So good signal there. And then let me show you the New Zealand dollar. This is the New Zealand USD. Let me pull that up. Okay, so you can see that this actually broke back up into this channel right here that we have drawn. It started propelling up towards the middle of the channel and then pulled back down. Now it looks like it's on its second leg, and so kind of the thing that I'm expecting most here is that this was the first burst towards the upside, didn't quite get there. It pulled back, and it's going to get to the top on the second burst. And so that's why Casey's long on the New Zealand right now. He actually got on a really great 8-hour signal. Excuse me, on an 8-hour signal. And he's already up like I think 1.5% or so on this trade. So he's already in good shape, and this candle isn't even closed yet, which is really the entry candle. So it's a great situation where he's actually already in plus territory. I think he's like 1.5, even though the trade hasn't really even set up yet to go more in that direction. So that's a pretty good place to be, and he has kind of some head start pips, as I like to say. So definitely something to keep in mind, and keep an eye on that New Zealand dollar. And then the other trade that he's in is the pound Swiss, and I'll show you that one as well. He got in that one early this morning, and it's headed pretty much straight up since we got in. So what happened on here, let me zoom into a 4-hour chart here. what happened here was he had some momentum. Oh, you know what? He took this trade yesterday. I don't know why I'm messing it up here. He took this trade yesterday because of the break of this level. So it broke this level, it showed some continuation, and he jumped in. So I don't know why I said this morning. I didn't messed up. So he got in yesterday early morning at the very beginning of this bar. So he actually has this bar and this bar up into profit, and his stop is locked into break even and stuff, I'm pretty sure, on that trade. So the pound Swiss is showing a lot of momentum, and of course what we're hoping for here is a touch of the previous high there with continued momentum to the upside. So I apologize for that that confusing little rant I just went on. I got my timing messed up on that trade. All right, let's take a look at the euro dollar. We always want to look at the euro dollar. No trades for us right now on the euro dollar, but it does look like with this tail today that it's trying to get back and hug this trend line again, which we've seen that it does like to, touch this trend line like a small retrace and a double touch before it continues down. That's something that's pretty normal with trend lines. So we might see something where it touches, it kind of pulls back, and then it goes back up to knock some people out and then continues. And that's a pretty regular occurrence with any type of trend line. So that's definitely something to keep in mind and take a look at. So if you get back up here and you see a good short signal, that was probably actually going to be even better than a short signal off the first bounce because it's kind of that second bounce and continuation pattern, which is a good opportunity. The odd dollar is one that has been hanging out at the very top of this trend line for quite some time. It's been fluttering, so to speak, right near here for days and days and days. And it's almost frustrating because I want to trade the odd. It's like my favorite pair to trade, but it's not showing me any good signals because it's just floating at the top here. And you can see that today looked like it was going to be a strong bearish bar back into the bottom of this channel, and then ended up being just a long tail that showed more propulsion upward. So now, once again, we're just hanging in the balance here in this little range, and we're not getting a quality setup because we need it to either come down here before we go up, or we need it to break here so we can go up. But either one is not happening right now, and instead, all we really have is a little channel forming. So you can draw this out, something in this range. So if it continues to stay in that range, we're not going to have a lot of good trade opportunities. Anything that's chopping back and forth in here is not anything I'm going to be interested in unless it chops and chops and chops all the way down into this trend line. So because it'll go sideways enough to get into this bottom trend line, then I would again look for longs. So that could be a possibility if it is able to chop back and forth for that long, which would be surprising for the odd because it doesn't really like to do that too long. Okay, let's take a quick look at the pound dollar. The pound is in another one of our famous channels. It's been consistent with this pattern, and we can see that over the past 6 days, it's basically gone back and forth. Blue, red, blue, two blues in a row there, red, blue. I mean, it's not making any ground for the most part. Maybe slightly upward channel, but it's just not really making much ground. So unfortunately, not a lot of great trade opportunities there. But if we keep, channeling, we'll eventually get a breakout, and we'll have an awesome trade opportunity. So definitely be patient. Keep an eye out for that, and eventually you will get a great trade opportunity on the pound dollar. I believe that's the last one that I needed to go over. Sorry guys, I don't know if you heard my Skype ring in there. My apologies on that. But yeah, it looks like overall, we have a pretty good mix of currency pairs that are in channels and currency pairs that are trending pretty nicely. So I, personally like to take advantage of the ones that are trending. I think those are higher probability opportunities than anything, but that certainly doesn't mean that there's not good opportunities in those channels, because the pound dollar, at least when it was a little wider channel than it is now, was still providing about 200 pip swings back and forth, which is obviously a lot of profit potential in there. So definitely look to take advantage of both of those situations, and just be wise about your trading and controlling your risk, and I think that you'll be pretty good. Alright guys, well that's about it for this analysis. I hope that you got a nice outlook on some of the pairs that we're looking at. And as always, leave any questions or thoughts, and I'll get back to you. Have a great day, guys.